Ladies and gentlemen, we got breaking news coming out of New York. We also have Pete Hegseth confronting allegations of misconduct as senators are grilling Trump's choice for Pentagon chief. And there's like 39 stores that are set to be leaving New York City because of theft. We have a lot to talk about, guys. But real quick, I do want to talk about the Los Angeles fires just for a second, because this fire chief, this LA fire chief is mad. I mean, I don't even understand it, guys.
Did they fail you? That is our job. And I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs, period. Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city? It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say justifiably what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community. Did they fail you? That is our job. And I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Oh, wait. So it's somebody else's fault. Okay. Well, the firefighters definitely had their budget sliced thanks to the Los Angeles mayor. But I think that there definitely needs to be a lot more accountability here.
Yes.
Chief Kristen Crowley, I believe the anchors wanted to ask a question back there, had some comments.
We do, Gigi. If you could please ask her regarding the Times article that came out that the Santa Ynez Reservoir was closed to repairs and it was empty. 117 million gallons of water could have been used in this fight.
The question is about the Santa Ynez.
Wow. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of water, almost as if they wanted this to happen.
Being empty. There's been a lot of questions about that.
Sure. So my stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants. Please defer that to DWP or whomever controls that part. But I can tell you the resiliency of our firefighters, if there's no water, they're going to go find water. They're going to figure out a way to do the best.
Guys, I got to say, firefighters are some of the most resourceful people I've ever observed.
They can with what they've got in a very dynamic situation.
And I know you expressed concerns that those DWP hydrants would not be inspected thoroughly because of the budget cuts.
That is something to discuss, and we're going to look into that in regard to how we can ensure there's going to be water when we need it. But in the end, I'm going to defer that to DWP and whomever else controls the supply. I can guarantee you that when our firefighters showed up on that day with what they had, they did absolutely everything they could do to rescue and to save people's lives and property.
Man, shout out to the firefighters. Type amen for the firefighters in Los Angeles and in your area, because these are real life heroes every single day. They leave their families to protect the lives of random strangers every single day. And shout out to the firefighters. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Thank you so much for joining us in the live. Let's talk about what's going on in New York right now. 39 stores are shutting down in New York City. I mean, I know that there's this migrant crisis that is going on up there. Tom Homan has indicated that he's going to be making some big changes. And basically, New York's going to be experiencing a big shakeup. But 39 stores, is this real? Like, is this what's really going on here?
The NYPD is looking for several suspects in a drugstore burglary pattern.
Police say the suspects were involved in 8 different incidents where they tried to break into pharmacies by breaking their...
I mean, this is just crazy, guys. This is that DEI stuff. This is that Alvin Bragg, that woke policy that's just allowing these horrible crimes to take place in cities like New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco.
Glass doors are rolling down those heavy security gates.
Great, just what we need. A new robbery pattern targeting pharmacies in New York, many of which are having problems staying open. With Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid closing a combined 40 locations in 2024 alone, leaving New York with about half the number of pharmacies it had just 10 years ago. Before our leaders thought it would be a good idea to stop sending thieves to jail where they belong.
Wow. Do you think that we need to be letting these thieves get away with this? I mean, if there's no punishment, what is really going to stop these thieves from continuing to do the harm and the damage that they're doing?
To several managers at various drugstores around New York City, though none would go on camera.
And these folks, they just run in there. And some of these folks are so bold, they don't even wear masks.
Plus, they've seen an increase in thefts.
Millions of dollars in stolen goods seized in Queens.
Unbelievable. And you see this stuff like all over the place. I mean, you can see like all sorts of goods for sale on the streets, like on blankets. Police are walking past it, not even doing anything. And they end up oftentimes selling the products right in front of the stores that they stole them from. It's unbelievable.
Put on display for the cameras. The thieves had an eye for cosmetics, beauty products, designer clothing, and accessories.
They just go in these stores and they're basically shopping. It's like they have a list. They know what's going to sell quickly, and they walk in the stores, take what they want, sell it for 95% off for some quick cash, and they do it again.
The shoplifting concerns are part of a growing trend in the city, but due to current laws, many of those arrested
Look at this. Like they're just blatantly walking through the stores. And what's going to happen here? I mean, these stores can't afford to stay open. They're going to shut down, and New York City is not the only one, but this is a sanctuary city. This is what apparently people are voting for. I don't understand it.
He's back on the streets to do it again.
This man just came in, grabbed
Look, our store is closing. Look at these empty shelves. Not because people have bought so much stuff. It's just they're just
makeup stuff that was on the side and just ran out. Security tried to stop him, but he was already gone.
Rafael and Sean Martez have been getting their prescriptions filled at this Walgreens.
And then I've heard so many pharmacists saying like you would think a pharmacist wouldn't have to worry about work. I thought pharmacists were paid well. I thought there was job security in being a pharmacist. Like people are always going to get sick. They're always going to need medication. But not when the stores get shut down. Look at it. I think this is like Duane Reade, which is a major drugstore in New York City. You got CVS drugstores. You got, I don't know if there's any more Rite Aids or whatever.
A year, they believe shoplifting
Walgreens
played a role in the store's closure.
They have it locked up because sometimes they get boosters that come in there and steal their stuff.
I don't know if they're stealing it from here or they're stealing it from another place.
Look at this. They just openly sell it on the ground.
To sell it here?
These plexiglass.
So now the question is, are people who are buying this stuff making the problem worse? Because if people didn't buy it, then the thieves probably wouldn't sell it, because then they wouldn't be able to make the money off of it if people didn't buy it, right? Y'all let me know what you think on that.
And all these other inconveniences creates additional friction, and friction is the death of retail.
And it's like nothing is being done.
So do you feel like it's getting bolder?
Yeah, it definitely is getting bolder.
I think it's very clear. I mean, it's clearly getting bolder. These people, they walk in these stores and they just take. And then a lot of these retail stores, they have like store policies. Oh, you can't stop the customer. You can't stop the thieves.
So nearly half of New York City's drugstores have disappeared over the last decade as retail theft continues running rampant. But what nobody's talking about is all of these pharmacy closures. They're happening 1 year after our leaders promised to get tough on shoplifting.
Our leaders make so many promises. And this is why a lot of people are like, yo, January 20th can't come fast enough for Donald Trump to come in and clean up this mess here.
A promise many businesses are still waiting for them to keep. And sadly, if you walk through any pharmacy in town, you'll be greeted with all the signs that the high crime environment afflicting our stores is
$10, $17 for some of these items that would normally in cities with lower crime and lower taxes would probably be like $6, but it's $17 here.
With locations throughout New York locking up their products.
Look, this is freaking hair conditioner. First of all, $16 hair conditioner. Excuse me. Yeah, hair conditioner. So like I'm imagining that the shampoo, and I think this is the shampoo here for $15. Like, can you imagine paying $15 or $16 for some freaking shampoo? That's $30 plus tax just for some shampoo and conditioner, and it's locked up. So now it takes even longer just to buy something because all these thieves keep stealing. So the store owners and the managers, they have to lock everything up just so that they can have something to sell.
Because here we won't lock up our criminals. Because stealing here's been decriminalized, making New York a breeding ground for professional criminals who take things that aren't theirs and then sell them on the internet or on the side of the street somewhere.
Yep. And so what's really crazy, just to take a line from Cash Jordan here, they've decriminalized these crimes. But at the same time, Donald Trump faced how many charges in New York City? Presented by district attorneys, DA Alvin Bragg, Attorney General Letitia James, for non-crimes. In fact, they elevated Donald Trump's crimes in the city, in New York City, just because he was running for president. Meanwhile, they allow these. It basically is catch and release. They sometimes catch these criminals and they release them with no bail. And they're back out on the streets, oftentimes on the same day. I mean, heck, I've even seen police officers saying they were still filling out the paperwork while the criminal was being released. Unbelievable.
Funding illegal retail arbitrage businesses that will exist as long as shoplifting here remains a non-jailable misdemeanor.
Did you see? This was like half a hardware store on the floor.
It's peaceful shoplifting that doesn't escalate to a physical altercation with another person.
Wow.
As for some reason, our criminal sympathizer leaders don't think destroying security barriers or cutting security tags counts as violent behavior. And that brings us to the real reason why New York is losing so many.
And it makes you wonder, like, who's buying coffee on the streets? Does that even make any sense? Like who's buying coffee or medicine on the streets? Would you buy Benadryl, like something you're going to ingest off of some random possibly thief? Who even knows what's in the box that some of these people are selling you? You know what I'm saying? And then, like, how much is Benadryl? Like, how much of a discount can they really sell it for to make you even be interested in it? A lot of this doesn't even make sense to me.
Leaving many neighborhoods without a viable alternative to get things like prescription medication or everyday basic items. Many of these businesses were already struggling for a variety of reasons, and as retail...
Look at all of these empty shelves, guys. All these shelves are completely empty. People can't get the medicine. Pharmacists are not going to have jobs. This is going to be another business that's going to shut down. This is going to directly impact the amount of tax revenue that the city of New York can collect, because there's not going to be any revenue. It's not going to be any revenue. This is literally going to be a slow death of a vibrant city.
Theft continues to creep up. It erodes whatever was left in the store's margins, leaving them no choice but to shut down. Something Walgreens alone did 22 times last year, leaving it with just 189 locations left in New York.
Wow. Dwayne Reed. So whenever you see these Dwayne Reeds, I mean, if you're from New York, you already know what's up. But basically, these are like Walgreens.
However, as you're about to see, retail theft isn't just a problem for pharmacies that end up closing. It also raises the cost of living for every New Yorker, even those who already buy everything online from places like Amazon. Revealing that as criminals loot and destroy these businesses, they're actually destroying New York City itself.
Oh, man, this is horrible. And then you see these cameras on the corners of these buildings. They're like surveillance cameras. What is the point of having these surveillance cameras when the thieves are going to steal right in front of them and they're not going to do anything? Is anyone even reviewing the cameras? And then, like, how much did it cost taxpayers to install all of these cameras all over the city of New York? Not to mention the people who are allegedly monitoring them. How much is this costing? And for what? They're not doing anything with the footage. Look at this. Absolutely amazing. I can't believe it. And then,
so New York City has obviously got a lot of former retail storefronts that have been shut down. But if you want to see what out of control retail theft is really doing to the city, take a look at the stores that are still open. Like this one, where pretty
wow. Look at these prices. Like, I know that Redken is like a very expensive hair shampoo, but freaking $40, $29.99. Now, I don't. This is Now, what is this R plus Co? I'm not familiar with that stuff, but $40? Like, is it this expensive because it's New York? Is it this expensive because it's a high theft product? Or is it this expensive everywhere?
Thing is locked up behind plexiglass, except for low demand products nobody's buying right
even
now.
This, come on. Banana boat, freaking tanning lotion or sunblock or whatever, $15, $16.99. It's got to be the theft, guys.
New York like sunscreen. Look at this. Even the picture of the product that is here, so you don't steal the actual product. Even it's locked up, so you don't steal the picture. But on top of all this in-store security, you'll also see something else: a blinking camera array on top.
Dude, they got freaking laundry detergent on lockdown.
CVS with flashing lights meant to scare.
Look at the ground. Doesn't it look like there's like broken glass all over the ground? That's what I thought it was. Unbelievable.
Into thinking the police could be inside, or at least watching. But sadly, none of this security is having the intended effect because our stores are still shutting down.
It's terrible what's going on.
Rafael and Sean Martez have been getting their prescriptions filled at this Walgreens for at least a year. They believe shoplifting played a role in the store's closure.
You think? Oh my God. These people are just like so dumb.
I've seen it happen right in front of my face. This man just came in, grabbed a whole bunch of makeup stuff that was on the side, and just ran out. Security.
So, as you can tell from all this security plastic, these places are getting robbed constantly, sometimes right in front of paying customers.
Unbelievable. And then they damage the cases that are supposed to be protecting the product. How do you even run a business in New York and make any money?
All the cracks around this product locker here on this tide. It's almost as if somebody tried to tamper with this and break through it to get at the products underneath. And before we get into the unstoppable proportions this crime wave has now reached, look at who the real victims are from all this stealing. Now, of course, the store itself is a victim of crime, obviously, but the people who live near a place like this, they're the ones that suffer the most, because after a store like this is gone, where do they go to
True. You know, think about it. And a lot of people in New York don't even own cars. So then you might have to take like trains or buses just to be able to get something that should be at your corner store. And then what happens when your corner store is no longer there?
the things they need and have relied on buying from it on a weekly basis. And what about the people that work at a place like this? Once it's gone, where are they going to work? Now, every time a store like this.
Has anybody been affected by store closures, like literally like losing your job because your store shut down? Like, this is a real thing. And this, I can see a wave of this coming across the pipeline, coming down the pipeline if this continues.
Shuts down over crime. The brand always says that they'll do everything they can to redeploy their workforce to other locations.
Sure.
But that just hurts everybody, because now the people who work at those other locations are going to have less hours.
Oh, yes. Oh, man, this is a cascading problem. So if they redeploy the workers from this location to another one, the other stores have a certain amount of hours they can distribute. Well, now there's more people that have to share those same hours. So the people who go there, who are being transferred, they're not going to get their full 40 hours, more than likely. The people who are already there are likely going to lose their 40 hours. And I mean, like this, and the people who used to use or patron the store that got shut down, they're going to have to travel quite a bit just to get there. Oh, and that's the other thing. The people who are being transferred to these new stores, they too are going to have increased commute expenses because they're now going to have to go to a different store. So, I mean, this is a massive problem for New York City. And unless something dramatic happens in the immediate future, I think that this is only the beginning. 39 stores leaving New York City because of theft. Oh, this is just a start. By the way, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys' support.